Anyway, we're gonna try take two. We're gonna do Breaking Bad morality in a super
Okay.
monotone voice. Super
The
monotone, super monotone. All right.
monotone challenge.
I don't remember half these characters, so you're gonna have to help me out.
One Mr. Tedward Beneke. It's just Ted. It's not. His name's not actually Tedward. Ted Beneke. He.
Okay.
Here's the thing about Tedward Beneke, right?
Oh, I forgot to
Uh,
explain. If you can't read, the top is evil, bad, neutral, good, pure-hearted. So
yeah, we're
pure
talking
evil.
morals today.
We are talking morals of Breaking Bad characters. Should have started off with that in the first place, but oh well.
But I just want to say, first of all, let me establish something right up front. Literally zero people are going into Pure Hearted, right? Like there exists not a character in Breaking Bad that goes into Pure Hearted.
Okay, okay, we'll see, we'll see.
But Mr. Tedward Beneke, now his heart was in the right place to some extent. He did truly, when he was committing his money laundering crimes, the pay for his employees was one of the top things on his mind.
Yeah,
He is also greedy. He bought that car with the money. He knowingly partakes in a marriage affair with Skylar. I would say he has points in good and bad. I would say Ted Beneke is a solid neutral.
that's exactly where I was gonna put him. Everything that you said was literally my explanation. All of his actions, regardless of like, all of his actions were bad, but with good intent. Or like a majority of his actions were with good intent, which is why he gets put in neutral. Hank, however, I
Is
want
good.
to put Hank in, yeah, I was going to say, I want to put Hank in good. The entire time, like, he was just doing his job. That's really it. He was just trying to take down the bad guys. He never really had any evil intentions behind anything that he did.
Like
He
he
was
was kind
just
of a
trying
dick
to do it.
sometimes, and like maybe he showed some slight racism early on. But
Yeah,
like overall,
overall, good.
that's why he's not pure-hearted. But overall, he was a hero. He was fighting to protect people. He knew Heisenberg was a problem, and he dedicated himself to solving it. He's a good man, that Hank, and he died with his dignity. He faced death and he said, like, fuck you, or whatever he said. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's definitely good. Now, remember 5 seconds ago when I said went in pure hearted? I forgot about Mr. Steve Gomez. Can you name one bad thing that Steve Gomez did? Challenge, impossible, loyal partner, good cop, 100% the morally on the right track. I'm sorry to retract my point from literally 5 minutes ago, but I think Steve Gomez is pure-hearted as they come.
Okay. Okay. I would probably put him in good, just because I don't think anybody would be pure-hearted. But you
That I
remember
guess
the
like
show?
the broad argument is like nobody's perfect, and I guess that's true. There's probably some things that aren't perfect for Steve. Good, you could put him in good. I think he's above Hank though. I think he's more morally good than Hank.
So below, technically.
Yeah, but
I'll
like tier list terms.
well no, because like if you're above, if it's I'm leaving him pure-hearted for now. We'll
Well,
loop back to him.
wait a minute, wait, because this is gonna come up again. What the fuck are you talking about?
If I put him below, then he's more good. Because the higher
What?
Okay, so the higher you go on each tier, the worse you are. The lower on the tier list you are, the nicer you are.
Okay. All right, all right. I got it. I got it.
I feel like it would probably be best to flip this around to make it a little easy. It's
No,
fine.
no, 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 no. I get it now. I just needed it explained. I didn't think about that, and now that I'm seeing what you're seeing, I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand now.
Yeah. Um,
Badger?
I want to put
Badger's
Badger in neutral. He sold
that?
drugs,
Yeah.
but he never really did, like, it was always within good intention. Like,
No, I think like part of why I want to put him in neutral instead of like good, because we will get to a couple drug dealers that I do want to put in good. Um, but the thing about Badger is he was kind of like a huge dick for the first couple of seasons he existed. Like his character was first introduced under the context of he couldn't get meth from Jesse, so he fucking beat the shit out of him. Like, but Badger's not the nicest of boys. He learns to mellow out as the show goes on, but I think he's had plenty of good in his later years, but also plenty of bad in his early years. So I think neutral is probably the best place for him.
okay. Okay, that's fair.
We all know Gus is evil. There's no discussion to be had. I don't
100%. Yeah, Gus
There,
is
there
just...
there are some like things that you may feel for him as a result of, but overall, the actions that he has committed.
I
he
guess
is
we should probably
100%
say
evil.
that if you have not seen Breaking Bad, go watch Breaking Bad. I just
I mean, like,
realized.
I assume that goes without saying.
It does, but I don't want people to come at me and go, oh, I thought this was blah, blah, blah. No. If you haven't seen it, none of this is going to make sense. Go watch Breaking Bad.
If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, do it. I avoided it for a very long time because I have this weird mental block where if too many people talk about a thing, I will just never watch it.
That's exactly how I was with Demon Slayer. But now I'm doing cosplay of Demon Slayer.
Well, there you go, folks. It worked with Demon Slayer for Alex, which I still haven't seen Demon Slayer. Maybe I should check it out.
Demon Slayer's so good.
And it
It's
and it
so
worked
good.
with Breaking Bad for me.
It was also Breaking Bad for me as well. I never watched it until...
Was it me and Demi that got you?
It probably was. Breaking Bad has always been on my radar. Like, occasionally here and there I'd see something about Breaking Bad and I'm like, oh, well, I know it's really, really good. I know it's good. Like, so many people have said that it's a really, really good show. But too many people told me about it to the point where it turned me off. But...
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is I never believed them. I'm like, there's no way it's as good as you're describing. And then what happened was Demi Gloom just kept bothering me about it. And one night she was like, bro, listen, just watch one episode, please. And I was like, okay, fine. And then she screen shared it, and I watched the first episode of Breaking Bad, and I was like, holy shit, this is really good. And then I kept watching it.
Yeah, both of you convinced me to do Breaking Bad as well. So I still have not seen Better Call Saul yet, but
I would recommend it. I'm only 2 seasons in myself, but the 2 seasons I have seen are very good.
so anyway, Skinny P.
Good.
Yep,
He's
never
good, man.
despite doing a few like illegal things.
Listen, he's a drug dealer. He's generally a criminal, but he's just a nice guy.
He
Like,
never
there's
did
nothing...
anything out of malice. That's what I'm looking. That's what I'm like keeping.
The
in
worst
mind
he
about
did,
this.
right, was like Badger and Skinny. Literally, all of Jesse's friends are guilty of abandoning him because he did not have the meth that they wanted. But I feel like Skinny Pete more did that because the crowd was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also didn't beat the shit out of him like Badger did, which is what knocked Badger down to neutral. But like Combo, who I don't think is on this list, and Skinny Pete were just like, yeah, bruh, see you later.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing they did. And other than that, they were pretty good, pretty swell guys. Also, there is a moment for Skinny Pete in El Camino, which I'm not allowed to talk about because I don't think Colo has seen that movie.
No, I have.
But
I saw El Camino.
I thought you didn't.
No, I saw El Camino.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the moment where Jesse's like, Pete, why are you doing all this for me? And Pete's like, because you're like my hero, dude. Like that fucking feels
God,
in my
dude,
heart.
That hit me so hard. No, I watched El Camino. I definitely watched El Camino.
Sorry, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else who I know who hasn't seen El Camino.
It's fine. No, I definitely watched it. Skylar is bad.
Is she
Skylar
really
actively
bad?
goes against Walt. The entirety of the show is actively looking for ways to get back at her husband.
Yeah, because her husband's like a drug dealer murderer who lied to her. Like,
but there's no reason for her, like, she even,
That's
like,
true. I guess like
looks
an
at
eye for
him
an eye isn't
and says,
necessarily a
I don't
moral
want
value.
them. He shows her the money, and then he shows her the money, and then she's like, nah, fuck that. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, I guess I could see where I was gonna argue maybe Skylar is neutral because obviously is some good things that Skylar does. Like I think she raises her kids, and that automatically counts for something.
But she
But
also steals the
overall,
kids away from their father.
their father, who is a drug dealing murderer.
Their father, who is a loving husband and wants nothing but the best for his kids.
But like,
He does everything. Okay, we'll talk about Walter in a bit.
okay,
We can loop back
if
to
you're
Skylar.
if you're gonna argue Walter is any lower than any better than bad, then we're gonna have a fucking 3-hour diatribe.
Look, I don't think, if anything, I feel like
He's Breaking Bad.
Okay, the lowest I will go is worse than Badger, but not as bad as Ted. That is the absolute lowest I would go.
I would say worse than Badger and worse than Ted, but still neutral.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Yeah. Walter Jr. is the only pure-hearted person in this entire thing. Regardless of him, hold on.
Sometimes, but maybe he's a teenager,
But like,
and that kind of
he's a teenager, so you can write off him telling people to go fuck themselves and stuff like that. But he doesn't do anything wrong. He doesn't do anything illegal. He sets up like a little PayPal type thing, like a little donation page for his dad, and I think he's the only pure-hearted character in this show.
Can you call somebody pure-hearted when they actively try to emotionally manipulate their parents into buying them a car? Like, I guess that is a teenager thing, to be fair, but I don't think
It is a teenager thing. It is a teenager thing, though. Like,
when they enact emotional manipulation on any level.
I don't know. I still think that he's the only pure-hearted on here. And that's the one thing I do remember is we did come to the conclusion that he is the only pure-hearted. Are we gonna act like we didn't do this already, or?
Well, we already blew that like at the beginning of the video, so.
Oh yeah, where we said, "All right, take 2."
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we did this already. It was never uploaded because OBS decided to corrupt the entire file right at the very end. But it's fine.
Hector is evil, 100%, even more evil than Gus.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. He created the monster that is Gus. So.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
He, by being a monster himself, created the monster that is Gus. And I guess Hector does kind of redeem himself at the end, if you think about it. But that was definitely more about I want Gus Fring dead than I am a hero who will sacrifice myself to defeat Gus Fring.
That's the whole point, is more so he sacrificed himself out of malice, not heroism. He was not trying to be a hero because he knew what Gus was doing. He wanted Gus dead by any means necessary, and that is malice, and that's why he is at top of evil.
Now, here's where a deep discussion comes in, right? Because how much can you really blame somebody for having a substance abuse problem? Because, like, all the other people that we're talking about who have substance abuse problems also sell drugs on this list. Jane is the only one that does not sell drugs. She is simply addicted to drugs. And I think overall her nature is that of a good person. She is brought to a dark place because of the substances that she abuses. But that kind of thing, you know, addiction, blah, blah, blah. It's not necessarily 100% her fault to the point where I would call her bad or evil for it.
No,
and I think
I want to put her below. I want to put her as close to pure-hearted as we can get.
Yes, I don't think she's 100% pure-hearted.
I want to put her above Skinny Pete. Just because she did try to manipulate and blackmail Walter. That's all. That's the only bad thing she did.
Yeah, I mean, I would say one, she was probably still influenced by drugs, and two, Walt kind of deserved it. But I could see her being above Skinny Pete for that reason. That's about right. Because
I feel like Skinny Pete just did everything for the vibes. He was just kind of chilling out the entire time.
He was just selling meth for the vibes, bro.
Dude, I'm just selling meth for the vibes, man.
Judge, listen. Please understand. I did it for the vibes.
I did it for the vibe. Oh, man. All right, next person. Lydia. Lydia's her name. Lydia's her name.
I don't think she truly shows evil or good. I guess she does like kill people or orchestrate for them to be killed. But that's kind of all out of fear. I think she's just crazy.
She also didn't she try and blackmail a little bit too?
Yes, but it's all because she doesn't want to die, and she knows that if she doesn't play the game, then the game's gonna play her. So I would say neutral's probably a good place for Lydia. She's probably worse than like Ted.
Yeah, that's a good place to put her.
Well, are Skylar's actions really worse than like direct
we'll loop
murder?
back to Skylar in the discussion with Walter. That's why I put her in neutral. For now.
Okay.
We'll loop back to her. I meant to move her closer to the end just because it's very controversial because she could go either side.
You want to just put her back down then for now?
Yeah, we can put her back down.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do her right before the final two. Hank's wife.
Marie? I mean,
Minerals.
she commits petty thefts and is kind of a bitch, but like I think overall she's a good person.
She does try and basically be a complete bitch to Skylar, though.
She does she is a complete bitch to Skylar. She does like try to gaslight her. Maybe she's neutral.
She's less than Lydia, but more
I
bad
wouldn't call
than
her
Ted.
worse than Ted. She's probably not worse than.
Her and Badger seem like on
They seem
even
on
ground.
par.
I want to put her above Badger though, just cause. No, she did it solely on a malice though. She did steal shit to get her husband's attention. She did blame Skylar for stealing shit and completely ghosted her out of malice.
No, you're actually describing a lot of points that I didn't really think about as deeply as you're laying them out to me. Maybe Marie is bad. She's not evil, but maybe she's bad.
Like a lot of her none of her actions were good.
Yeah, and she's definitely the argument I gave for Lydia is that she's like insane. So I don't know if she necessarily did anything out of pure malice. There's definitely tangible malice with Marie. So
exactly,
bad.
That's the whole point. Is like what I'm trying to focus on with these characters and their actions are what were their intentions behind the things that they did. Because if you're going by whether the action was good or bad, then a lot of these people are going to be sitting in neutral, bad, and evil.
Yeah, it'd be hard to put anybody in good when you're talking about Breaking Bad. If you don't make a couple of concessions,
you have to factor in whether or not what were their intentions behind the actions that were made. Marie had bad intentions with almost everything that she did.
True.
Like they might not be as bad as what Lydia did, but Lydia did it out of fear, not malice. That's the whole point.
Maybe I was just biased because I think about that hospital hand job scene sometimes. Marie's pretty bad.
All right, next one. Fuck, what's his name? Tuco.
Tuco! He's evil and he loves it.
He's evil and he loves it. He's not as evil as the other two, but god damn, I love Tuco. Tuco's so cool.
Evil.
God, I know I brought this up the last time. Anytime I talk about Tuco, have you seen the Infinity Stones with Tuco?
Yes. I think you told me about it. It's
so good. It's so good. If you guys have not seen, look up Tuco Infinity Stones, and it's great. It's literally the final battle with Thanos in Endgame, but they edited it with Tuco, and it's great. It's very, very well done. It's really funny.
It's beautiful.
All right, we are down to the final 5. Saul is bad.
All right, hey everybody.
I I
Hey,
don't know.
no, hold
Okay,
on. I have to
I'm
give
not gonna
that-
make any immediate anything without talking it out first right now.
Okay. So I will not get into specifics. Because obviously Alex has not seen Better Call Saul. She stated that earlier. But you know,
This
you
is
think
strictly
about
this is not Better Call Saul tier list. This is Breaking Bad.
yes,
So,
but this is part of the man. Like a part of the content of his character was built upon in Better Call Saul. But let me say, in general terms, if you look at just Breaking Bad, most of what he does in that show is like straight up bad.
Yeah.
But maybe he is bad. However, I will say that his backstory and what leads him to the actions that he does are sympathetic for sure. But I guess he does those actions do turn him into a sleazy, shitty lawyer. And I guess it's just like that's what he became, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, he's bad, I guess. Not as bad as Marie though.
that is fair because he does have some good. If you look at what he's done for Walt and
Yes, he also does show
And
like
Jesse,
some level
like-
of genuine compassion for Walt and Jesse.
like you get a little bit like a little instance and like inference about the other people that he represents. But when it comes to Walt and Jesse, now there might be a lot more money riding on those two, but he does go out of his way to help them too.
Yeah, like half the shit Saul does for them, he doesn't have to do. Like,
But he's
it puts
also
him-
kind
it
of a
puts him
piece of
at risk.
shit.
It puts him at a lot of the stuff he does for Walt and Jesse put him directly at risk in a way that it probably would have been more viable if based entirely on logic that he just let them fucking die. Because like they're bringing in money, but like he doesn't want to risk his own ass, but he does risk his own ass because he cares about them.
Yeah. But like I said,
Although he
I have not
does
seen Better Call
encourage
Saul,
Walt to kill
so-
Jesse, and that's pretty late in the show, so maybe not.
That's
actually.
why he's in Bad.
Okay.
That's why he's in Bad because he is a sleazy piece of shit lawyer. That is true. Like if he wanted to be good, he could use his talents and his manipulative abilities to go and help the good people, but he helps criminals. That's what lands him in Bad, is he helps people who 100% did things wrong or did wrong things and helps them get away with it. That's why he's in Bad.
Fair enough. We don't need a criminal lawyer. We need a criminal lawyer.
All right, Mike.
Mike is a good man, okay? That
He is
man,
bottom of good, but not pure-hearted because he did kill people, but he is good.
he did kill people. I would even argue he's probably worse than like Skinny Pete and Jane and Gomi and Hank. He might be top of good,
Okay.
but he's definitely a good man. He did what he had to do. He never killed completely just out of malice. Like he killed because it was his job. And
He did everything out of
he cares for his family.
necessity.
He did what he needed to do out of necessity. Also, I can't talk about his backstory because that's Better Call Saul stuff. But it
Oh
definitely
shit,
makes
he gets a
him.
backstory in Better Call Saul?
He does.
Oh, now I gotta watch. Fuck, now I gotta watch it.
And it makes him even more sympathetic than he already was. So he's a good man for sure. Now we get to the big ones. It's big time.
Now, we do not have to do these in order.
Let's do
pick and
Jesse
choose.
first because the other two are kind of matched.
Jesse is true neutral.
You know,
He might be a piece of shit, but he
My
always
heart-
did look out for other people.
my heart and my soul really wants to put him in good. But
I wanna
he
put him
did
at bottom of
try to
neutral.
sell meth to people who were in anonymous recovery program. So I think that automatically eliminates him from the good category, unfortunately. But overall,
like-
I think he was a good-natured boy who was led down a dark path by a dark world, and experienced a lot of suffering as a result. and now currently understands that what he was part of is wrong and just wants to live a good life in Alaska. Like I think he has good boy energy, but again, he did try to sell meth at a drug recovery meeting. So I think that eliminates him from good. He is neutral.
See, that's fair. I was gonna say he never killed anybody except in El Camino, right?
He killed Gale.
He did kill Gale, but that was out of necessity, not malice.
That's true. Well, I guess. Yeah, I guess it was out of malice in El Camino, huh? He didn't have to kill those guys.
No, he just wanted to. He just wanted to go. He just wanted to leave. But the whole thing is basically just centered around the fact that, like you said, he's just a good kid who was led down a dark path. However, for a he only has one person's blood on his hands, just in Breaking Bad. He's only killed one person. That's like the whole thing. It's like,
I'm trying to think if I feel like there might be a fringe kill we're not thinking of. Did he really only kill Gale and that was it?
let me look it up real quick.
Well, I guess he kills Todd at the end is probably what I'm thinking of.
Jesse killed 5 people.
Is that counting El Camino though?
Over the 5 seasons of Breaking Bad, as well as the sequel movie, Jesse killed 5 people.
5 people. He killed like 3 people in El Camino, and he killed Todd, and he killed Gale.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's like very minimal blood on his hands.
Gale was out of necessity, and Todd was 100% justified. He deserved that.
Todd 100% deserved to die. 100%. He might be dopey and a piece of shit, but he fucking deserves to die.
Didn't Todd look at his family dead on the ground and be like, "Holy shit, Mr. White, that was awesome"?
I don't know if I don't want to say yes or no, but Jesus Christ, that sounds like him.
I don't think he says it was awesome, but he just like, instead of being like horrified that his family's dead, he's just like, "Holy shit, Mr. White."
But yeah, no, I do believe, where is my mouse? There it is. I do believe Jesse deserves to be in neutral. I 100% believe Jesse deserves to be in neutral. Just because his actions were made out of necessity, not malice. I don't think he ever showed any malice. But all right,
okay.
we got the final 2.
Now let's talk about Walter, because we already talked about Skyler. We'll figure that out more as we go along. Let's talk about Walter.
Walter has good intentions, but he killed so many fucking people.
He started with good intentions, but those good intentions kind of went away. Like, he never, like, wavered from loving his family. He basically became
a ruthless...
But...
he basically was ruthless the entire show. If he... I don't... Like, you could argue that his actions are justified because he wants to provide for his family. But killing people and selling drugs does not justify a future for your children.
Here's the thing. Like, there was a point in Breaking Bad where every time Walter was part of or directly caused somebody's death, you could justify it.
For the most part.
That goes away towards the last couple seasons.
Yes. Yeah. He basically was like, oh, you don't like that? Bye. Dead.
Die. You will die now.
But, like, I want to say...
He commits the most pointless murder in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I hope you know which one I'm talking about. What is the most pointless murder in Breaking Bad, Alex? There is a correct answer.
Isn't it the little kid? With the
No, not the little kid.
Because he does poison a little child. That was also bad. Real bad.
That child lives.
It doesn't matter. He almost died. Walter did not have to...
No, but we're talking about a murder, though. We're talking about a successful murder. What was the most pointless murder in Breaking Bad?
Refresh my memory.
Mike.
Yep.
Literally completely Literally, as Mike is dying, bleeding out, Walt's like, oh, shit. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he was like, I could have just done this instead. Sorry. And Mike just says, shut the fuck up and let me die. It's pretty good. But yeah, Walt is bad.
I want to put him top of bad.
Evil.
He is not truly evil because all of his actions as you watch the show, all of his actions are centered around he is going to die. He wants to provide for his family. Did he go the right way about it? Absolutely not.
There is a tangible point where that goes away. There's a point where, like, Walt is in remission. He is not expecting to die anymore. And a lot of the actions that he's doing are for his direct greed. But he does loop back around. I feel like the ending and, like, what Walt did at the very end of his life does redeem him to some degree, which keeps him out of evil. So I think he's bad.
I want to say he's top of bad just because of the sheer amount of murder and blood on his hands. He might have redeemed himself.
Your Marie argument really holds weight for me because now I'm like, Walt did a lot of things for his family. A lot of the crimes he committed were not of direct malice, where everything bad that Marie did was from direct malice.
There were other ways to go about this. He had an out. He had all his money and Jesse fucked him over. Like,
true.
There were easier ways to do this, and, like, he did not have to go as far and as high as he did.
Even part of his downward spiral can be traced back to his caring for Jesse. Like, he knows he's got to be there for Jesse, man. But yeah, he's the top of bad is a good place for him. He has some good intentions in his heart at some points, but I think overall
it keeps him out of evil. He is not. He does things out of necessity, evil, but he's not. But he's pure
definitely
evil.
Bad.
Exactly, which brings us to his wife.
Her husband was a bad man who committed murders and dealt drugs, and she did some bad things herself by going along with that and being part of the money laundering scheme and all of that shit. It was definitely hypocritical. She was definitely in it for Walt's money. However, I feel like the interest of her children always took precedent. And unlike Walt, she never, like, committed grievous crimes to that end.
Yeah.
So I would argue that she is neutral.
I would like to put her at top of neutral.
I think that she's not as bad as Lydia. But right above Ted is probably the right place.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. That's fine. Alright, you want to read it off, or?
Alright, I'll do it. So here's our morality tiers, folks. Pure-hearted, we've got just Walt Jr. He's just hanging out, pure-hearted. Good, we have... I'm already forgetting. Oh, never mind. I figured it out. Skinny Pete, Jane, Gomi, Hank, and Mike. In neutral, we have Jesse, Badger, Ted, Skylar, and Lydia. In bad, we have Saul, Marie, and Walt. And in evil, we have Tuco, Gus, and Hector.
Perfect. I'm so glad we got to be able to do this. I've been staring at OBS this entire time, hoping that we don't get fucked over for a second time.
Oh no, that would be a tragedy.
God, I was like, I swear to God, OBS. But see, now, even if it did cut out, it'd be perfectly fine, because the tier list is done. Like, we had our thoughts. Last time, for those of you who are curious, we got to the conversation about Walt and Jesse, and it cut out on us.
That was so... The timing on that was so unfortunate, that it was like, alright, it's time for the big two gone.
Yep, very unfortunate. Wish I could have salvaged it and, like, uploaded it a while ago, but it's back, and it's re-recorded, and it's perfect. This is a very even tier list, by the way. A lot of...
Wait, so did you have all of the footage up until Walt and Jesse?
Yeah.
Why didn't we just record Walt and Jesse separately then?
Because then I have to edit.
You don't have to edit. YouTube's editor lets you put one video in front of another one. Like you don't have to know editing rocket science to put two videos together.
All right, everybody. Thank you for everybody so much
Thanks
for watching.
Bye.
We will revisit something like this for Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul morality tier list once Alex finally gets off her ass and watches the show.
Yeah. We'll revisit this at a later date, and we will talk about in like respects to Better Call Saul. Whether it's just Breaking Bad specifically, or we'll go to Better Call Saul characters, I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work, but anyway, thank you everybody so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.